Hello YouTube, welcome to my next channel video. I am Commander Nerd, and as I said, I am going to be reviewing all the Arkham games in the series. Next up is Batman Arkham City. Arkham City is a fantastic Batman game. This game made you feel like you were Batman. Um, it's set um, a few years after Arkham Asylum. A section of Gotham City is pretty much blocked off. Pretty much Crime Alley around that area is blocked off and made into Arkham City. Pretty much a giant jail for the criminals. Um, like my complaints with Arkham Asylum is how all the criminals or the goons looked all the same. This improves on it. They actually have different looking criminals and or goons. They all have different clothings depending on who they're with, like Two-Face, Joker, Penguin. Uh, Mr. Freeze doesn't really have any people. Poison Ivy, but uh, Kevin Conroy returns as Batman. Um, it's the last Joker role for Mark Hamill for a while. Um, but any villain that wasn't in Arkham Asylum that you were disappointed wasn't in Arkham Asylum is more than likely in Arkham City. It has a ton of Batman villains or rogues, whatever you want to call them. To list off some of the villains that they have Ra's al Ghul, they have the Joker, Harley Quinn, voiced by Tara Strong now. It was her first Harley Quinn role. Um, Mr. Freeze, the Penguin, Two-Face, and a few others. But those are the main ones that are in the forefront of everything. And Dr. Hugo Strange. I almost forgot about him. Um, it's centered around. Obviously, the game's been out for a while, so it's not a spoiler. Um, Joker put some of his blood into Batman in Arkham Asylum. Joker kind of becomes a Bane Joker. And it messes up his DNA or something like that. Whereas if his blood got into someone, it would kind of be bad, kind of like an FTD. That's my best way of putting it. And so Joker put some of his blood into Batman, and if the blood is in Batman too long, Batman is gonna die. So pretty much the whole game is about you getting a cure to save Batman's life. To get the cure, you have to work with Mr. Freeze, which is it's very good because Mr. Freeze has always been my favorite villain since the animated series. Um, Obviously, they couldn't get the original voice actor for Mr. Freeze because I think he had already passed away. I can't remember, but you have to save Mr. Freeze from Penguin. Penguin is interesting in this, but a lot of complaints people had with Penguin in it was he wasn't like the Penguin from the animated series, which I can understand that because the Penguin from the animated series was more um, he was psychotic, but not as psychotic as the Penguin in the Arkham series is. Um, Two-Face is kind of based on the Dark Knight Two-Face, which would be more realistic if he got half of his face burnt off, but he really wouldn't be able to talk. Um, Ra's al Ghul was really cool. It was kind of like the Nightmare levels with Scarecrow facing Ra's al Ghul. Um, why I call him Ra's al Ghul instead of Ra's al Ghul is that's how they pronounce it in the animated series, and that's how I'm going to pronounce it. So deal with it. Um, you obviously find Talia al Ghul, which is Batman's love interest and Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Um, pretty much at you eventually get the cure, obviously, because they're not going to have Batman die in his own game, which I'll get into that later as well. Batman gets a cure. You eventually fight Clayface, which was actually pretty cool because they were doing a switch where Clayface was standing in for Joker for most of the time, and Joker was kind of in the background, which most of the time he was in the forefront. But you fought Clayface, and at the end, Batman got the cure. He drank it. He's fine for now. Um, and then Joker stabs Batman in the shoulder, and Batman drops the cure, and it smashes all over the floor. And eventually, Joker dies. Um, before before playing this game, I hadn't read The Dark Knight Returns yet or anything like that. I had seen Batman Beyond with the Return of the Joker, but this was the first thing that I played where the Joker actually died in the story. Um, it was very what's the word I'm looking for? Um, it was very surprising for me, and then finding out that Mark Hamill was retiring from voicing the Joker until now because he's doing the Killing Joke, and he came back for Arkham Knight, which I will talk about because that was the best surprise they had for that game, in my opinion. But other than that, this has been my review on Batman Arkham City. Still one of the best Batman games out there. If you have an Xbox 360, pick it up. Because even if you don't want to play the other Arkham games, play Arkham City. You will not be disappointed, especially if you're a Batman fan. If you're a superhero fan and want a good superhero game, play Arkham City. I can't recommend it enough. Other than that, check back next time for my review on Arkham Origins, because within the timeline, Arkham Origins comes next. So, within the next few days, look for Arkham Origins. I'm Commander Nerd, and I will see you next time, YouTube.